The Portsmouth Humane Society traces its history back to the late 19th century. Today, 120 years later, it still continues its work for animal safety and welfare. We'll tell you about its history, its mission, its programs, and its future right here, right now, in this very special episode of Portsmouth Now. Welcome to this July 2023 episode of Portsmouth Now. I'm your host, Rob Lauer. I'm standing in front of the Portsmouth Humane Society, which is located at 4022 Seaboard Court. That's an industrial park just between Boulevard and 264. We're going to head inside. We're going to talk to Diane Uchek, who's the executive director of the Humane Society, to find out a little bit about its history, its programs, and its future, and how you can help. Diana, welcome to Portsmouth Now.
Thank you.
We want to find out more about the Portsmouth Humane Society. Now, let me start. I know there's a misconception. There's this old joke in municipal politics when a candidate is running who nobody thinks is electable, they'll say he couldn't get elected dog catcher. And I think that joke has been around so long because people assume that the Humane Society is like a branch of the city government, like the school system or the police department. There's some official connection, and basically the city and tax dollars pay for everything. What is the real story about the Humane Society?
So Portsmouth Humane represents a really unique model that we don't see anywhere else in the region. Portsmouth Humane is a private nonprofit that's contracted by the city of Portsmouth to provide animal sheltering services.
Okay.
So we have a strong partnership. We see Portsmouth Animal Control. I won't tell them you called them a dog catcher.
Okay.
We see them every day. We work hard to protect animals and make sure that they get what they need.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the history of the Humane Society. How long has it been around?
It's unbelievable, okay? We started in the late 1800s, and it was the Women's Society of Virginia, and they looked out for children and animals.
Oh, okay.
And they were a little bit of a legislative arm. People could submit complaints, and then there would be an investigation that would go to court. So if a person was accused of abusing an animal or human or a child, then they would investigate. Flash forward a few years, it dies down a little bit, it picks back up in the late 40s and 50s, and they start sheltering animals outside of a clinic, somebody's garage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then at the end of the 50s, the city of Portsmouth formalized the relationship with Portsmouth Humane and started the contracted services to provide animal sheltering for the city.
Okay.
So the relationship has been around a long, long time. According to documents, I wasn't around back then. It started in 1959 and it has continued through today. We were on Frederick Boulevard.
Right, yeah, for years, yeah.
Yeah, it opened in the 80s. And just in 2011, we moved into this building.
Now, just so people know, where are you located? I've been here a number of times, and yet it's still a bit of a challenge to find
It's a secret animal fort.
Yeah.
We're at 4022 Seaboard Court, Garwood and Greenwood Avenue. I always tell people the Red Barn gas station, and they know, even though it's not red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you definitely have to travel down a long and winding path and question whether or not Google Maps is going to drive you into a lake, but then you'll find us.
Okay. But basically, you're about a block off of 264 and between Airline Boulevard and 264.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay. Well, it's a nice facility, a big improvement, I'm assuming. You would give me a walkthrough before we started filming. It's huge. Yes. I had no idea, and I've been here a number of times. I had no idea that all of that was
just
back
keeps
there.
Going.
But now, what are some of the programs that you offer? What does the Humane Society do?
We do a bunch of stuff. I think the program that's at the forefront and everyone believes that we focus on immensely is our adoption program. So if you're looking to add a pet, here the shelter is a great place to start. We also offer community support for lost and found pets, people who need to surrender pets, or just connection with community resources. So if you lose your dog, somebody leaves the gate open, and your neighbor finds it, they'll call us. And then we'll say, well, did you go knock on your neighbor's door? Did you ask on the neighborhood apps? Did you look on Facebook? Can we get him back home? And if not, we'll bring him here and we'll keep him safe until the owner shows up.
All right. Now, when animals come in like that, or when you find a stray animal, how is the animal, sounds terrible, how do they process? What is the procedure when you bring an animal in here that's been picked up?
Yeah, so if you find a stray pet, like I said, we'll try to talk through it to get the pet back to its home. And then we'll bring them into the building. They get a brief physical exam by our team. We give them vaccines and preventative medications like flea prevention and dewormer to make sure that if they're carrying any parasites, we evict them and that we protect them against any illnesses they may be exposed to. This is like dog daycare.
Yeah.
You know, for your kids, they come home with snotty noses. So do the dogs and cats.
Okay, so you take care of that. And is there a particular period of time that you keep animals here? How does that work? How long do they stay here?
Yeah. If an animal comes in as a stray, we have to hold them for 5 days if it doesn't look like they have an owner. So if there's no collar, there's no microchip, you know, they're covered in mud and fleas, 5 days the state says we have to hold them. And then we can place them up for adoption, transfer them to rescue. If they have a collar, or like let's say they have a little bow in their hair and they got their nails painted.
They look like they're cared for.
We'll hold them for 10 days and hopefully their owner will come find them. We'll also make an effort to reunite them during that time.
All right.
So look for an owner, post their pictures online. And then past that point, once they're past their stray hold or if they're surrendered to us by their legal owner, then we can place them up for adoption. And past that, there isn't a time limit. As long as they're mentally happy here and healthy and physically healthy, then we're going to work hard to find them an adopter.
That's great. Now, you were telling me before about some surprising programs that people maybe love animals, they want to help, but they really maybe don't have the resources at the moment to adopt. You have some programs here where people can actually get involved and sort of get their animal fixed.
Yes, we try to make it as easy as possible to help us. And our volunteer program is just opened back up. People can foster animals. We have a really flexible foster program, so if it's 2 weeks, you're going to take a dog home and hang out with it, give it a break from the shelter, take pictures of it at the ice cream shop, so to help market it for adoption. That's really great and wonderful. We provide all the supplies and veterinary care. But then we have a dog day out program. It's called Paws Around P-Town, and it gives any member of the community who's over 18 the opportunity to check a dog out and take it on an adventure.
Oh, great.
Yep, ice cream, park, whatever they want to do. They get to go spend a few hours with a dog and then bring it back. No commitment, no fees.
Okay, but you don't have your own dog and you would love to walk a dog in the park, play with the dog in the park for an afternoon or morning or something?
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
We have some students that do that. They come in every week and they do field trips 3 or 4 times a week. Or military personnel, they're living on the ship. They can't take a dog on the ship. They'll just do field trips a couple of times a week.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And what are some other programs that people might be surprised that you offer?
So we work really hard to keep animals out of the shelter, which I know sounds kind of crazy because we've spent years and years and years teaching people if you can't take care of a pet or if you have an animal, you bring it to the shelter. And so we offer community resource programs to help pets stay in the community with the families that value them. Okay. We have a pet pantry. So if if a pet owner is in need of a little bit of extra food, we'll provide it to them. We also can connect with community resource. So if there's a gap between an owner being able to afford veterinary care, then we may be able to find a resource for them that can help them pay for it, or a low-cost clinic that maybe they didn't know about, or even maybe a volunteer to drive them. Okay. Yeah, we offer temporary, it's not temporary boarding, but if a pet or pet owner is in crisis and needs a gap, we will help connect the pet owner with a place for the animal to stay while they figure it out.
Okay. But really the objective here is to keep the animals out of the cages and with people who love them and care for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, moving ahead, are there any new programs that you're developing or want to implement in the future?
Yes. You know, we talked about, I mentioned earlier, rather, the volunteer program is just opening back up. So right now, we are engaging volunteers to help us with laundry and dishes and husbandry tasks, right? Keeping the animals clean and moving forward. We really like to see them be able to walk the dogs, socialize with the cats, take them to events, and help us run play groups here. Additionally, we'd like to open our community support programs to make them a little bit more robust. So when we talk about our pet food pantry, I said before, anyone that needs pet food, if we have it in our pantry, we'll give it to them. But we know that sometimes those people don't have the ability to get to us or even know that we exist.
Okay.
So we envision a future where our pet food pantry can go into the community and partner, partner with human services organizations. We had a really great partnership last year where we went into the neighborhoods with one of the human services organizations that was handing out groceries, and we just had dog and cat food.
Wow.
And we just said, do you have a dog or cat at home that you want to feed? And we just gave it to them. And so they didn't know that that was something that we offered, and probably they couldn't get to us. And we don't want a bag of pet food to be a barrier to keeping the pet with its family.
Right. And I'm sure for some pet owners that is.
Life is hard.
Yeah, life is hard. I mean, this is a living thing you have to care for.
And people's lives are so complicated. We sincerely believe that people are doing the best that they can, and we want to help them meet their pet ownership goals.
Yeah.
So it doesn't cost us much. I mean, the pet food is donated to us, so we just pass it along.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned before we started rolling about really having a positive attitude here. And a little bit when we were talking before we started filming, you were saying there's sort of a stereotype of animal lovers. They love animals, but they're not too hot on people. But you really, well, it's different. The reality is very different here.
We take in around 2,000 animals every year. Last year was 1,900, but we're on track to take in 2,800 this year.
That's like mind-blowing. And how many people do you have on staff right now?
About 15.
I mean, that's
It's a lot.
Yeah.
We expand our shelter walls through foster programs. We have tons of people who take animals home. But we can't do anything that we do. We can't serve 2,000 or 3,000 animals a year without other people.
Yeah.
A lot of good people do a lot of good work to support animals.
Yeah.
And I think when we're quick to we witness something bad that happens to a human or an animal, we go, oh, well, people are this
awful,
negative.
Yeah.
But we don't believe that here. People are doing the best that they can. It takes a lot of people to do good work. The volunteers, the people who provide services here, animal control officers, our donors, our volunteers. None of that happens. None of this happens with the animals without all of those people. So we believe everyone is doing the best they can.
So obviously it's very emotional giving up their pet. And of course, if they find a pet and bring it in, obviously they care. They wouldn't be calling you in the first place.
Yeah, you are so right. When people find an animal, they get so invested, they call and check on them. They come to visit. Sometimes they'll say, oh, I told my neighbor, and if that kitten becomes available, they're gonna come and adopt it. They're the hero in this story, and so they develop a really strong bond with the animals that they find. And when people surrender pets, it's very easy to say, why are you surrendering your dog or cat?
Yeah.
They say, I'm moving, and then we end the conversation.
Yeah, because there could be an entire story back there that we have no idea.
We dig in and we say, you need to surrender your dog, tell me about what's going on.
Yeah.
How can we help you? And if there's something we can do to help, to keep that pet at home or to keep the pet from coming to the shelter, we're gonna do that. But when we have those conversations and build relationships with people, we learn that it's bigger than just I'm moving. It's I'm moving because I lost my job, I lost my home, and now I'm living in my car and I don't want that, my dog, the same for my dog. We have a volunteer who is a senior. She lives alone, she had 2 senior pets. She had major surgery on her back, and taking care of 2 little senior dogs was not in the cards for her anymore.
Yeah.
And we took the dogs in, we found them great placement in a senior dog sanctuary, and now she's a volunteer for us.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so everything that we do is about building community with people and making sure that we can solve animal problems within the community and work collaboratively.
We know working collaborative relationships. What are some other organizations, groups that you collaborate with, that you have working relationships with?
Yeah, so the first one is the City of Portsmouth,
right? Of course.
And Portsmouth Animal Control, like I said, we see them every day. They're besties. We work with other shelters that have low-cost clinics to get spay-neuter services, PETA, Chesapeake Humane, Virginia Beach SPCA. We're part of a Best Friends Shelter Collaborative program, so we are mentoring another shelter to increase their life saving and develop programs like ours that are community building, relationship building. And then there are folks that are working right in the city, like Herding Cats. He works to try to mitigate cat matters in the community, and he's just like a go-between. He's the voice that says, like, okay, tell me what's going on with these cats. Are they sick? Are they injured? What can we do to help before it gets to us, before it gets to animal control? He's really done a lot of legwork to triage the situation and do the things that we would do, but he is taking a whole load off of our plate.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know, speaking of herding cats, I think we're going to have an interview next with Robert, and so we'll be back with you in a little bit to visit with some pets.
Awesome.
Fantastic. And we will be right back after this message with more on this episode of Portsmouth Now.
Hey Portsmouth, are you ready for?
Are you ready for the biggest celebration of the year? That's right, National Night Out is back, and this year's event will be bigger and better than ever before. Come celebrate 40 years of police community partnerships and give crime a going away party. We will be at the Portsmouth Pavilions Festival Park on Tuesday, August 1st from 3 to 8 p.m. So come out to this free event, meet your neighbors, interact with Portsmouth police officers, and have good old-fashioned fun. We promise it'll be a night you and your family will never forget.
Welcome back to Portsmouth Now. In this episode, we're here at the Portsmouth Humane Society, looking at its mission, its work, and its programs. And as was mentioned in our earlier segment, there are a lot of other organizations and individuals who help the Humane Society in its work, and we're joined by one of them right now, Robert Pash of Herding Cats.
Yes.
Welcome to Portsmouth Now.
Thank you.
So,
Good to be here.
Herding Cats, what is that?
Herding Cats provides TNR services, trap, neuter, return services to Portsmouth, North Suffolk, and the Western Branch area of Chesapeake. We sometimes expand beyond that, but there's a lot more coordination involved.
Okay, so tell us how this got started.
I've been in animal rescue with my wife since 2012, and we moved here to Portsmouth in 2014 and just really built a partnership with them. I started the TNR aspect back in 2021, became Herding Cats in 2022, just to begin about April, and then rolled from there.
Okay, so now you were out, basically, we're helping stray cats,
Stray cats,
lost cats, I mean, just cats that are out?
yes, stray cats,
Have no
community cats, problem areas, because people will release cats, or they'll see a couple cats out, but they won't think of it. Cats breed, and cats become fertile at 4 months old, and then they get pregnant. Their gestation period is about 2 months.
Wow.
They have a litter, and so they can be 7 months old and already have a litter of kittens.
Okay.
And then 2 weeks after that, they can become pregnant again.
So a lot of huge cat population.
Yes, without proper control, it will get out of hand very quickly.
Okay. Now, is this a big issue nationwide? Is it worse in this area, would you think?
It's worse everywhere,
Okay.
honestly. And some places just don't have the funding for it, don't think anything of it. Some places have the funding, have the proper support for it, and have full programs that solely are dedicated to TNR services.
Okay. So what could the average person, if there's someone who has a cat, I mean, I think the perception a lot of people have is that cats are very reliant, they're sort of natural hunters, and so basically no one's going to stick a puppy out in the
Right.
wild. But they sort of think, well, the cat will fend for itself and survive. And that may be true, but it comes with a huge cost, doesn't it?
Correct. It becomes a huge cost, not just for the person that released the cat, but the community. It becomes a community problem,
Yeah.
and it takes the community to take care of the problem. Because you let out a unaltered cat, they are free to breed, and then that's where the problem starts, and they can start reproducing.
Okay. So if people wanted to find out more about herding cats, is there a website that they go to? How could they help you?
Herding Cats does not have a .com yet.
Okay.
We do have a Facebook page.
Okay.
HERDIN.
Herding
Cats.
cats.
No G. Herding Cats.
Okay. Now, how long have you been connected with the Humane Society as far as helping them and interacting with them?
Portsmouth Humane, we've been with them for the better of about 9 years.
Okay. So when you find cats and you spayed, neutered them, whatever, do you then bring them here? Do you try to adopt them out yourself?
It depends on the cat itself. If the temperament is too feral, the cat is perfectly fine being returned back to where we picked them up. If the cat is either a kitten or a very friendly stray, we will discuss with Portsmouth Humane and figure out the best approach for getting them the best care possible.
Okay. What is there? I know there is a difference. What is there between a feral cat and just a cat that's been let loose? And
The attitude of a feral cat, you approach it, he will run. He's not so vicious as most people think they
Right.
are. The cat's going to run. It's going to avoid you before you can avoid it.
okay.
Stray or a cat that somebody let out of their door will come up to you, will accept interaction, and will ask you for attention.
Okay. So if they're out and they find a cat like this, should they contact you, the Humane Society? I mean,
Either
one?
of us, they have my number, they know how to get a hold of me, or you can contact me through the Facebook page. My
Okay.
email's there on the page, and we will come up with a plan together.
I'm sure the work of herding cats takes some money. So can people donate to you?
Yes, people can donate. There's all different methods through the Facebook page, Cash App, Venmo. I will take cash checks. Any form that's easiest always works. I am a nonprofit. I do not have any incoming source of money, so the community problem absolutely relies on the community's involvement.
Okay, so you're just an individual with this organization doing this on your own.
Yes,
Okay, great. So, question. Someone is out, they find, I don't know, a bag of kittens. What do they do? Do they call you? Do they call the Humane Society? What should they do first?
In an emergency like that, call the Humane Society. Of course, they have more resources than I do. They can best decide if it should involve me, if I can help, or if they should get involved.
Okay. Well, thank you for all that you're doing. Really appreciate this. And again, the organization is Herding Cats, and they have a Facebook page, so be sure to check them out. We'll be back in just a few minutes after these messages, back to the Humane Society here in Portsmouth, and we'll be visiting some animal friends, so stay tuned.
What makes a city more than a point on a map? What makes it a great place to call home? Or do business? Or visit? What makes one city any different from another? In Portsmouth, we know the answer. It's our people and the places that make Portsmouth uniquely our own. All different kinds of people from all different kinds of places coming together in neighborhoods we all know by name. Craddock and Port Norfolk, Old Town and Truxton, Churchland and Cavalier Manor, West Haven, Park Manor, and the list goes on. Ours is a story steeped in 400 years of history. A history you can still see and hear and feel, all beautifully preserved for generations to come. And our future is just as bright. Today, Portsmouth is home to Virginia's first and only full-service casino, and that's a big win for our city. At the ports that give our city its name, Portsmouth continues to make its mark as a strategic international seaport, a proud steward to the Navy's fleet, and a powerful partner to the emerging offshore wind industry. Our tourism industry is on the rise too, with new attractions, new businesses, and a few old favorites, all coming together to make our city more inviting than ever. What makes a city more than a place on a map? Him and her and her and him and them and this place and that place and all the other people and places that make Portsmouth home.
Welcome back to Portsmouth Now. I'm Rob Lauer. I'm at the Portsmouth Humane Society, and joining me is Diana Uchek, who is the executive director, and we also have another very special guest. And who is this, Diana?
This is Nicole. She's gonna come around. Nicole is about 1.5 years, 2 years old. She's waiting for her family. And we've actually first met Nicole in the fall. She was walking down High Street with her 5 puppies. They were out for a stroll.
Oh my gosh.
Portsmouth police brought her in, and her owner came back and got her that time, but this time Nicole came back with one of her puppies, and the owner never came forward for her, so her puppy got adopted. But Nicole, I mean, she's just a puppy herself.
Yeah, how old is she? About 1.5 years?
Yeah.
Wow, and she acts puppy like with beautiful eyes. Oh my
She's
gosh.
stunning.
She's
got
a
a-
stunning dog.
Awesome temperament. I think she'll be great for anybody. Whoop! She's like, hello.
Very loving.
I got more snacks for you. Sit down.
All right.
So Nicole is available for adoption, but also, fostering. Any of our adult dogs and cats are available for foster, just to get them out of the shelter, do a little test drive.
Okay.
Hi. And our adoption fees include spay, neuter, microchip, all
of
of
that.
Yeah, everything. All the
Okay.
age-appropriate vaccines. We start heartworm treatment, all that kind of stuff. So it makes it really nice. You get it ready to go. Turnkey dog.
Fantastic. All right, so Nicole's going to leave us, and we're going to bring on some other friends here. So why is it important to go through the Humane Society rather than going to like a breeder or something like that, or a dog farm?
Yeah, so certainly there are responsible breeders out there that are doing the right thing by their dogs. But coming to an animal shelter, we get to know them really well. We try to match personalities, and you can save a life, right? We've talked a lot about how the dogs are coming in at a faster rate than they're going out, and so we really need adopters to come and take a chance on these awesome dogs that are looking for a new home. Thanks. Are you going to be friendly?
All right, now we're joined by another friend here. Who is this?
This is Torch.
Torch.
Yes. He is between 6 and 8 years old. Here, you want to give him a cookie? Because
Sure.
I don't
Want
know
a
if
cookie,
you
Torch?
noticed, but cookies are on his list of faves. So Torch is a pretty easygoing guy. He middle-aged, so he's ready to lay down on the couch, but also
And just be petted.
Yeah. He'll go for a walk if you want to. Like when he's out in our play group, he'll just hang out on the sides and sort of watch all the youngins run around, and he just just like, all right, you guys stay over there. I'm gonna, man the perimeter.
That's right. Well, good meeting you, Torch.
So thanks. Oh, you did a little dance. No, he doesn't want our snacks. Our snacks are subpar cuisine.
All right.
Good boy. Huh? Do you dance? Here you go.
Okay.
You want to do pineapple? She's right here. Yeah, we're good on dogs. Thanks. Pineapple is very cute.
No, real pineapple is a cat.
Is a cat. I know. Here she comes.
Oh.
Hello. Would you like to come? Did they give you a treat? So this is pineapple.
Look at those orange ears. Oh. Now, how old is pineapple, would you say?
It's always a guess with these adult
Right.
cats. I'm thinking somewhere between 3 and 5.
Look, pineapple.
Isn't she lovely?
She is.
Cats won't tolerate us for very long, but a cat like pineapple is actually available for foster too.
Okay.
Yeah, people can take them home and just test drive it for a little bit. I think that people don't give cats enough credit. They say they're too sensitive and they can't handle the stress, but they haven't evolved in like thousands of years.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure they're near perfect specimen. Even though I lean toward the dogs, I'm willing to admit that cats are pretty darn near perfect.
Wow. So I'm just curious. We have dogs and cats here. Do cats or dogs, do one adopt out faster than others? Do you tend to have more people wanting dogs than cats or vice versa?
With our cat population, we've done a really great job adopting them out quickly, managing, kitten populations. So cat space has been really okay. I mean, I don't like to jinx, no one likes to jinx it.
Sure.
It's really the large dogs that are a
Really
challenge
needing a
for
home.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not leaving as quickly, and they're coming in at kind of a higher rate than we're used to.
Okay.
And that's a nationwide problem. It's not just here in Portsmouth.
Okay. I guess people's busy schedules, they probably assume a bigger dog maybe is more of a challenge as far as care than a smaller dog. I
think it's so multi-layered. You have
Yeah.
to do a whole show just on
Yeah.
that. It's expensive to own a dog.
Yeah.
They get bigger, they cost more. And we talked about before, people's lives are really complicated.
Yeah.
And so finding a new place to live with a large dog is
A
hard.
challenge, yeah.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh.
All right.
All right, well, we're going to introduce you to the mini stars
Okay.
by Pineapple. Annie's got Annie and Chrissy have some kittens for us. Oh my goodness. It's everybody's favorite. Oh. Do you want to hold one?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Okay, well, apparently this one has cool hair, so you can hold that one. It's like moss and mushroom. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Oh my, they're so tiny. How old are they?
So these guys are probably between 5 and 6 weeks old.
Oh my gosh.
They're here with their mom.
Look at that.
Hi. So kittens like mushroom and moss, they can be found around the city. We try to help people mitigate, right, and resolve it there. If they find kittens without their eyes open, we kind of want them to monitor them to make sure that they're not, there's not a mom that's going to come back.
Okay.
People think like, oh, if I touch it, mom won't come back. That's not true.
Okay.
And they think that they need rescuing. But if you see a little bundle of kittens that are sleeping and they're fat and they're fat.
Probably the mother's just stepped away to hunt or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The moms will come around dusk and dawn to feed the kittens. And if a predator shows up, mom wants to jet because she doesn't want to draw attention to those babies.
Yeah.
So these guys, they're older, so they're almost ready to come off of mom, and they're starting to explore food on their own. But these guys really require a lot of support.
Yeah. It's a little invulnerable.
We just had 2 puppies, and they we got them at day 1, and they went through 26 cans of puppy formula. That's about $18 a pop.
Oh my God.
And then they'll get, when these guys hit 4 weeks, they start getting their vaccines. And they'll get a vaccine every 2 to 4 weeks until they're 16 weeks.
Wow.
So they get vaccinated, they get spayed and neutered, And it's kittens like this that we need support from the community. That's where donors come in and fosters. But donors make it so that we can go above and beyond housing animals, but providing important medical care.
Well, let's talk about that. But so now, closing out, what can people do?
Yeah.
People watching this, what can they do?
Yes. So obviously adopt, right?
Right.
That's the low-hanging fruit for people. Look for volunteer opportunities here at the shelter that fit you. And fosters are, I beat that. I'd say that over and over again, but we love fosters. We also have sponsorship opportunities. People can become a monthly donor. I just set up a new donor thing on our website. We have events. We just finished our Arthur G. McGinley Jr. golf tournament.
Which is an annual event.
Yep, and it's already on the calendar for May 3rd of next year. We have Cause for Paws coming up. So business owners can sponsor those events. You can attend those events. The Cause for Paws is in September, and it's a 5K and 1 mile fun run. It's a festival with food and vendors. So it'll be really awesome and a great way to support the shelter.
Okay. And the city is very generous helping, but you still need
Of course.
generous donors and giving money, essentially.
Absolutely. Our contract with the city does help cover some of our costs, but we depend on donors to extend our programming and let us provide additional care, right? If we, the puppies I talked about with the formula, there are shelters that can't care for those puppies because they can't afford to buy the formula.
Right.
And so we depend on donors to help our organization.
And there's
everybody.
no crystal ball saying what's going to happen a month from now or a year from now as far as the needs of animals in the community.
Absolutely. We're on track to take in 900 more dogs and cats in 2023 than we did last year.
Again, how many people are on staff here?
15?
Yeah, that's, again, it's amazing because you do that. Before we leave today, tell us again where we are located.
Our secret dog and cat base. We're at 42022 Seaboard Court and near Airline and 264. And
it's an industrial park in here.
It is, yeah.
It's a very nice location.
Yeah.
And it's very close to everything. You just don't know that when you're on Greenwood Drive.
Well, if you're going to have a secret base. Well, it's certainly important to have the dogs far away where neighbors don't have to listen to barkings. Our neighbors, they like coming over here and taking a peek. But yeah, we're open. Actually, we're open every day except Tuesday for adoptions.
Okay.
Yeah, so, or you can come down. We open every day from 8 to 5 for lost and found or just general questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess you have a Facebook page and a website?
We do, yeah. So we're Portsmouth Humane Society on Facebook, and our website is www.portsmouthhumanesociety.org.
Okay. And if people wanted to call, is there a number?
Yeah. The phone number is 757-397-6004.
Oh, all right.
Like,
thank you so much
for
having us here, really. And be sure, really, visit the website. Be sure to look into helping Portsmouth Humane Society. Thanks, Diana. Thank you. Well, that's it for our show today. If you'd like to find out more about helping the Portsmouth Humane Society, visit their website at www.portsmouthhumanesociety.org. I'm Rob Lauer. Join me in August for another episode of Portsmouth Now.